Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. Thank you to the 13 people that clicked this link. It's actually a special night. It's a nice night. First of all, I don't think I've done a live at this time of the night for a long time. To everyone else in the world, 6:30 p.m. isn't even the bloody afternoon. But to someone like me, I'm just easing in. But more importantly, to my right, your left, you are looking at one of my brothers and one of my best mates here from Sydney, Australia. This is my mate, Jono, also running channel Liverpool Verdict. And he is here to debut a first of another good series coming to this channel for the new season upcoming. I promised you guys, especially the members, there'd be a lot more content coming. So this coupled with another surprise with a familiar face coming out in the next week or two with Ali and plus the Ali with the Bianconeri zone. You'll now have, this will be the third show per month on Inter Worldwide. So Jono, welcome to the channel. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your channel as well, my G.
Also, thanks for the introduction there, Anthony. Mr. Priv. For all the loyal fans out there, the loyal Inter Worldwide fans, I was on this channel 6 years ago. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I got asked by Anthony to join the show to film some content when the Interverse Borussia Dortmund 6 years ago.
Almost forgot about that. Fucking hell,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So it's not my debut on this channel, but I am back with Liverpool Verdict. I do have a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok for all content for Liverpool FC. And feel free to join the community. It's a growing community. It's a young community. Lots of really, really good content, fun content. So join aboard, subscribe, like, and we'll keep this community channel going.
Yeah, shit team. Really shit team. Can't believe that you started a channel about them. Nah, it's their turn. It's their turn. They play good football, and I've wanted a reason to get other channels, small channels the same size as mine, on here to talk consistently, just off the cuff, because dabbled a little bit with having that other channel with Football Worldwide, but the Inter Worldwide community keeps me going as well. So why not just integrate it all here? And happy to debut this first edition of Talkin Liverpool. So that's what we're going to start with. Thank you to the 17 people that are here right now. AI is in the chat. Good to see you again. What's up, my channel member, Massimo Fazzino. Also, lucky recipient of our giveaway last month as well. Next giveaway will come, what's today? The 4th of August, maybe early September. So channel members, keep an ear out for early September giveaways. Zia is in the house as well. Thank you very much. Liverpool need a centre-back. Need 2 centre-backs, a winger, and a number 9. All right, we've already got the comments kicking it off. So I'll throw straight to my guest because I couldn't really know what the fuck they need. They just pissed the league like it was absolutely nothing under a first season under Arne Slot, just proving once again that Dutch people just know exactly what to do and how to get it done in every department of the world. I think that next season you're in for a very, very good one. I actually think you'll take the league, maybe not comfortably, but I think you'll break away with it eventually. I just see too many issues at the other clubs, consistency-wise, whether it's finding their identity, shaping their identity, new players coming in, old players coming out, managers just hitting their stride, like Maresca, managers going through a personal downfall, like Pep. I just think the Liverpool machine's going to keep rolling, G. What are you saying?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're in a really, really good position. We haven't, the goal, the ambition of the club is extremely high. We haven't won a back-to-back Premier League title since 1984. So we're going to go for a 30-year drought. The club's ambitious. We could have sat back. We could have done nothing and just only signed 1 or 2 players. But no, the club, the board of directors, Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards went full steam ahead and have dropped just under £300 million on new signings, young talent, top quality players that are coming through. At the same time, there has been a lot of players that have left the club. Luis Diaz, Jarrell Kwanzaa as well. So it's been a very, very busy transfer window. It's been exciting. Been very, very exciting. It's been fantastic. We're all loving it as fans. And I think we're gonna go for it this season. We're gonna go for the double. That's our expectation. Whether we can get it or not, of course, it all depends on how we perform and how the other clubs perform as well. But I think we're in a real good shot.
When you say double, do you mean the modern era fan double of the EPL and the Champions League, or the traditional double of the EPL FA Cup?
What I mean by is just the back-to-back Premier League, essentially.
Right. One thing I do want to comment is, dude, Alisson has shown a few signs of injury, but Georgie, he's ready and he's good. He's bloody good. The Alexander-Arnold era is over, but the Connor Bradley era and the Frimpong era just begin. Like, there's no real positions where I look at next season besides the centre-back position and think that you need to seriously address it, because even though your centre-backs on paper would do the job 17 times out of 19 games, home and away, probably, you can't keep putting all this pressure on Van Dijk. Mentally, he won't want that pressure this season. So talk a little bit about the centre-back department. Who might you be in for this market?
Yeah, so that's the one area that I'm a little bit more worried about. We've got our gun attack. We're stacked with depth in our midfield and attack. But of course, it's our centre-back position that we definitely need to sort out. We do have three full-time centre-backs. We've got Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and Joe Gomez. But unfortunately, Joe Gomez is injured again. He's a very injury-prone player. And we have Ibrahima Konate, who's likely to leave next season. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. So we can't go into this season with three centre-backs. It is way too risky, and there's good signs that we're going to get someone in. I think Liverpool's waiting on Mark Gay from Crystal Palace. I think he's the ideal signing. But there's also a few young talented players as well that Liverpool are monitoring as well, because essentially if we're going to get someone in, it's either going to be a fourth-string centre-back, or essentially it's going to be someone that's just going to rival Ibrahima Konate or replace him next season. So there's a few players. There hasn't been as much going around. It's all the talks about Alexander Isak. But definitely, I think the club needs to prioritise centre-back first ahead of we even go for Isak as well. So left and right backs were all sorted. We've got Frimpong, Kerkez. We've actually got three left full-backs at the moment, which is usually I thought we would have sold someone off by now. But, of course, Arne Slot has also been trialling and playing around with a few different tactics. He'd even started Robbo as well as centre-back. Wataru Endo has been dropping in as centre-back. So there has been a few trials here and there. But I'm really, really hoping that Arne Slot does not go ahead with that. We don't want part-time centre-backs. We need a full-timer.
Absolutely. Like I said, you need someone to take that pressure off Van Dijk, because with great experience comes a need for rest as well. Nobody has been immune to that at all. Centre defence is the area that you are looking light in, and you will depend on your skipper to play minutes again. That's 100% sure, because another injury, and an injury to him, that could be your title race done. That's how delicate your back line is at the moment. It doesn't matter how well you've recruited. It doesn't matter how good Salah looks again. But my God, that attack's just going to look absolutely insane. In terms of who you actually predict to be in that starting lineup next season, does this one look pretty accurate to you? Do you think he starts with three at the back, or do you think he's more inclined to play four? Who do you think will be your starting goalkeeper going into next season? You think Alisson starts?
I think Alisson will start if he remains injury free. I think he will start. I know Mamardashvili is a type of player who's definitely going to be challenging for that number one spot. Alisson is.
I like him. I think he's very confident for a goalkeeper, man. That's such a high pressure goalkeeping position to play, and he slotted in for it last season like he was just born to slot in for Alisson. He did not look like he was pressured at all.
He's a giant. When we saw him in the games last week and the week before, my God, this guy is a massive giant. He's huge. So yeah, he looks promising. He's a top player. He's got lots of experience as well. Alisson is coming of age, so we're waiting for him to sort of hit the decline, which is essentially why the club went invested in Mamardashvili. But as what we saw last season, just Alisson Becker, he just doesn't look like he's declining at all. He just had another top season, especially that game against PSG in the Champions League. If it wasn't for him, we probably would have got done 2 or 3 or 4-2 against PSG in the first leg. So he's still at the top of our game, but we're going to wait and see. It's a good problem to have for Arne Slot, 2 quality keepers, and wait and see.
It's a good problem to have. Dennis, welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming through. Unless we get a replacement for Isaac, he ain't going anywhere. So let's move on to that topic right now, because it is a hot topic. You guys had your first bid rejected, right? And it was 100 and how much? 100, 105?
115, I believe. Yeah, 115.
Oh, they knocked back 115, and confidently too.
Yeah. Liverpool went with a low ball bid. I think it was more of a tactical bid. You always go too high when you go into negotiations, but it was instantly rejected by Newcastle. I think that was expected even by Liverpool. But there's definitely more to come. It looks like they're preparing a second bid. I can see this going as far as a third and fourth bid. Essentially, there's still time in this transfer market, and I think a lot of it all depends on Newcastle be able to get someone in as well. So they're going for Sesko. United's also going for Sesko as well. So if this deal does go through, it does have to rely on other transfers as well.
Yeah, fair enough. And that would be a lot of money that you guys have dropped in this market, G. That would be a fair bit, because Wirtz cost you a pretty penny. What did he cost? 85?
No, Florian Wirtz costed 116. So all up, I think Wirtz was 116. Hugo Ekitike was 79. Kirkes 40. Frimpong 29. Mamadashvili 29. All up, it's been about 295 million. So that is something that we just have not seen. But keep in mind, though, I know as a typical Liverpool supporter, we love to say the word net spend, but it is true though, because we have sold about 120 million worth, or 120 million pounds worth of players as well, when you're adding Diaz and Quansah as well. So there has been out things, but generally the net spend for this summer transfer window has been around about the 160 mil, 180 mil. Roughly.
That's bizarre. There can't be many fans that are fucking disappointed at the moment with the way the club's being handled. Or is there still a bunch of or is there still plenty of scousers up there that are like, FSG out?
No, I think there were some scousers, there were some people online as well that were leaning towards the FSG out. I think before this transfer window, just because the club just wasn't spending much money. I know they were promised to spend money, and I think that was agitating a few fans. But after seeing how ambitious the club is at the moment of just dropping all this amount of money just to really create a dynasty, to be able to win major trophies and dominate, and aiming to dominate over the next few years in the Premier League, it just goes to show that, no, I think FSG has shown their ambition, and I think most Liverpool fans can agree that we are lucky to have them as our club owners, along with all the staff and the structure that we have with the sporting directors as well, who are working overtime. These guys are getting no sleep at the moment. They're doing transfers on average almost every week. So there's no complaints definitely from my side, and I'm sure I could speak on behalf of a lot of Liverpool fans as well.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a very consistent high salary structure as well with your players. You pay your players quite well consistently, whereas a lot of the other clubs, they have more of an inconsistent structure where the pay is a little bit more lopsided to one side of their squad. So I think the coherency from a financial aspect is definitely there. And I think it's a pretty underrated factor. I think that when clubs start to stretch their wage budget and skew it to 1 or 2 players, 3 or 4 players, whatever it is, it can start to take just the momentum out of whack. And just seems like you've got momentum in all departments next season. Besides the centre-back situation, any concerns amongst the fans, amongst the forums? Anybody concerned about certain players? Like you mentioned that a couple of players have gone. To be honest, I like Luis Diaz. I think that maybe he could have been given another couple of years at Liverpool. I didn't think that his career was given a big run. What was it, 3 seasons?
Yeah, he was there. I think when he joined in 2022 or 2021. I need to double check on that. But essentially, I was a big fan of Luis Diaz. I think he's an absolute baller of a player. I did not want to see him go. I think he's been really, really good for Liverpool. He hasn't been pulling the numbers that Sadio Mane pulled, but the guy's got quality. He's 28 years old. You can see why clubs like Barcelona and Bayern Munich were really, really chasing him. And essentially, the club did not want to sell him. It was not part of the plan to sell Luis Diaz, but unfortunately, Luis Diaz wanted another challenge. He had a couple of years left on his contract. And essentially, Liverpool has to respect the player's wishes. And as long as the club got a suitable offer, which they did, I think we sold him for around £65 million, then 65. Essentially you've got to keep all parties happy.
Yeah, it's good money. And you knew where to invest it, and you invested it wisely, because clearly you were hoarding on some money that Jurgen Klopp wasn't getting access to. But then again, like, you weren't making those. You were making sales, though, when Klopp was around, weren't you?
Yeah. I think we're making some sales. We're running down a few players' contract, but usually that tends to happen when players come of age, and it's going to happen with Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk as well. But I think generally over the Klopp era, Liverpool managed to maintain our best players, your Salahs, your Virgil van Dijks, your Sadio Manes, and I think that's what got Liverpool to where we are now as well, because in the past, especially during that towards the end of the Rafa Benitez era, that's when we started to lose our best players, your Xabi Alonso's, a lot of these top quality players. Fernando Torres ended up going, whereas the club doesn't want to make that mistake in the past. But unfortunately, there are cases like Luis Diaz where you do everything you can to hold on to your best players, but as long as there's a deal that can be done for both parties, then I think we're all happy in the end.
Yeah, fair. SSB, welcome to the channel. Love the contribution. Definitely consider subscribing if you're new. If you have an interest in Inter and Serie A, I can't promise that I'll be talking much about the EPL on this channel this season. But if you have a little bit of an interest in Italian football, definitely don't go away. What do you think about this comment here? Don't be surprised if Slot goes for Solbo at right back. He's tried it in pre-season where he tucks into the midfield and he's looked good. Well, like any top club this year, you're going to be playing hella games. There are lots of times for experimentation. And the EPL is even fucking worse than Serie A and La Liga. It's got the League Cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are going to be playing a lot of games this season. Lots of time for experimentation.
Definitely. And I think Szoboszlai is a very diverse, what's the word? He can play across many different positions. He can put in left back, right back, centre mid, attacking mid. And he's a player that probably can easily slot in. I can't see Szoboszlai play in the fullback, but I definitely can see him play as a centre mid alongside Gravenberch a lot more. And Florian Wirtz will take up that number 10 role. So, but look, of course, if needed, if we're shortage on any left or right backs, which I don't think we will, then yes, that's where your Szoboszlai, your Ouattara and those can drop in as fullback just to fill in while players are injured as well.
Where does my boy, who I rate so highly and would take in a split second at Inter, I'm just picturing him on the left with Denzel on the right, look like two Dutch assassins. Where does my boy Cody Gakpo fit in this season?
I think Cody Gakpo will still keep his position as a left forward, a centre, as a left wing. One thing that Klopp, when he first signed Cody Gakpo, he tended to play him a little bit more in the middle. But as we have seen in the Euros and when he plays for the Netherlands, he plays on that left side. That's his position, and that's where he plays his best game. He likes to cut in, he likes to go down the line, and he scores lots of goals on that left-hand side. So I can see Slot continuing Gakpo playing on that left side. I can't see him swap around because essentially last season Slot had a problem where he wanted to play Diaz, but he also wanted to play Gakpo. And unfortunately, both of their best positions are on that left side. But unfortunately, Luis Diaz had to compromise and he played a bit more of a false nine in the middle, whereas Gakpo, he's going to have a little bit less competition with Luis Diaz this season, so I would imagine he will be starting most games on that left side.
Yeah, Ekitike might not start, but I think the first game against Palace in the Community Shield is a great game to start new signings. The Community Shield has always been a great game to start new signings. So if Slot wants to do that, absolutely go for it. Before we move on to my gang, what are the expectations? But I know you said the double, but let's talk a little bit more specifically about the Premier League. Because when I look at the opposition, everyone is inconsistent. Everyone. I think that if you guys get off to a good start, you'll be very hard to stop. I know Pep signed a lot, but I just don't look at that Man City side. Yes, with all the flair and the attacking momentum that they can have, it just doesn't strike me as a Man City side anywhere near of the previous years. I think they'll get found out a little bit tactically this season as well. Chelsea, once again, somehow find a way to bro, when you go to the servo and the meat pie has been there for 2 days, 3 days, and there's no way you're going to buy it, but they still sell for $4.50. I don't know how they do it, cuz. I don't know how they do it, bro.
Yeah, they've got a monster squad. Their business model, what they're doing there is very unique. We're waiting to see how it's all going to pan out. But yeah,
90 mil for Felix and Madueke combined. 90.
But they're still getting sales done. If no one's going to take them, they'll still ship them off to Saudi Arabia, or they'll loan them out. So they've got a gigantic squad, and I can still see Chelsea doing a lot. I can see Chelsea doing a little bit more better this season. Manchester City, you don't know. I think they will bounce back. I think they're going to be hungry, but there's still a lot of players, new players that are coming in where we just don't know how they're going to go. I think losing
Sorry, go on.
Sorry?
No, go on.
Losing a De Bruyne over the years, he's been dominating that league, but someone's going to have to fill in those shoes. And who's it going to be? Foden? Is Haaland going to sort of have a bit of a big breakout? Massive, not a breakout. Another monster season. So yeah, there's a few question marks over that City squad, or maybe even Arsenal.
Keep an eye out for Tijani Randers that came from Milan. He's a very, very good player, but he doesn't possess the technical qualities that De Bruyne does. I think a Cherki will need to contribute a little bit more in that department. Maybe even Rodri step it up a little bit. I mean, it's good that they've got ball playing centre backs in Diaz and Vardio. That'll take some pressure off, but Tijani Randers is a fantastic player, very explosive, very high footballing IQ, great work ethic, pure Pep Guardiola, animal player. Everyone keep a lookout for Randers this season. He was a pain in the ass in Serie A, and he's a very good player. I think they've purchased very, very well there. He might need a little bit of time growing into things, but yeah, I don't know, man. I guess Marmoush and Foden and Haaland, they just don't have the fear factor that they did maybe. Well, definitely two of them a couple of years ago. Foden really fell off from his status, man, a year and a half ago compared to where he was, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Is it the partying in Mallorca, or is it the lifestyle? I'm not too sure. Every now and then, players do have their dips of seasons. They have just one bad season, but he can always turn it around. But you look at that City squad; it's pretty stacked. All they just need is a few players just to fire off. I think Marmoush we can see having a better season. But yeah, it's good. There's a lot of competition, but at the moment, Liverpool are the favourites. But we can't be complacent because look at the competition. Everyone else is strengthened. Arsenal, they finally got their striker. City, they've strengthened their squad over the last 2 transfer windows. Chelsea as well. So you just have to keep up with the competition, and Liverpool has done that. So it's going to be a really interesting season, and we're absolutely pumped.
Yeah, fair. I'll predict you guys to finish first pretty comfortably. I reckon by about in between 8 to 12 points. And I think Chelsea's going to surprise a lot of teams this season and make a very, very good run up the top there. I think you guys do get Isak. And when you do, I think Newcastle will maybe struggle a little bit because who else have they lost? Have they lost anybody else this window so far?
Who, Newcastle?
Newcastle, yeah.
No, I know they gained Alanga from Nottingham Forest. Yeah, he's a good pickup. I don't think they have lost any of their major starting 11. Newcastle have a strong centre mid. They've got Tonali, who's an absolute beast. Guimarães.
I'm just so glad that he's not going. So glad that he's not going to Juve.
Oh man, and especially in that Carabao Cup final, that midfield just absolutely just overpowered our midfield. They dominated. I think that midfield three is arguably one of the best midfield in the league. So I think Newcastle, they do well to maintain all of their plays, and they've got Saudi money at the end of the day, so they do have the financial backing to maintain and hold these players. It's just Isak is a bit of a unique case that he just wants to go to Liverpool, and Liverpool has shown interest. But really, from Newcastle's perspective, they need to hold on to him. They have to hold on to Isak. They're now in Champions League. If Newcastle are ambitious enough to be able to maintain Champions League football for the next 2, 3, 4 years, you have to hold on to your best players, your best strikers, your best attackers. So Alexander Isak, what's going to happen? Whether they're going to sell him? Of course they don't want to sell him, but they may hit a point where they have no choice and they just have to let him go, because at the moment he's not training with the squad.
There you go.
It's getting a little bit nasty at the moment. So, and at some stage, what do Newcastle do? Let him rot? Let him not play? Or at some stage, he's just going to have to integrate back into the squad. So, or they're going to have to sell him. So it's going to be a lot happening over the next few weeks. So definitely watch his space.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, when he came from Sociedad, people had some, semi-high expectations of him, but I don't think anyone expected him to do what he's done in the Premier League so far. He's got over 50 goals in under 100 games. I can't remember his stats exactly, but very impressive stats. Very impressive stats. Let's go to a couple comments, and then I'll throw over to you to ask any questions surrounding Inter, and then I'll give people an update on this very, 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 very happy saga of Lookman that just continues to trickle on every single day. Gabe says, "Sup guys, can't stay in the Arsenal fan base if you can, but low key, I say good luck for them to win the EPL because they have a good squad. They needed a striker and they finally signed one. Yep, Liverpool are hot red favorites." Gabe, let me tell you this, bro. I'm a Man United fan, and even last season, I didn't care that Liverpool won the league because it meant that Arsenal didn't win the league. That's just where we're at football in 2025. So you can cheer for whoever you want, but I know exactly what I want, and I can't have Arsenal win in the Premier League, bro. They take up so much time in my content-consuming world for a laugh. It's just I'm not ready for that train to end yet. Maybe
no one's ready for
that. No one's ready. When Spurs won the Europa League last season, like it was even against United, and even at the end of the game, even though I was pissed off, I was like, "This is going to make for great viewing. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to make for great content." Saudi money means nothing with PSR issues. Well, if it means they still don't need to sell any of their assets. I mean, we're in a day and age, SSB, where most clubs do need to sell their assets in order to maintain some sort of financial stability. So if they can hold on to their assets, I mean, Sandro Tonali takes a little bit less convincing. A, he went through a massive gambling scandal, and B, there's no way any club in Italy could you could pull the 3 top clubs in Italy together, and they probably can't afford Sandro Tonali, to be honest. So his desire to return to his motherland is a pipe dream. So, but I do think that look at all this. This is fantastic. All the boys coming in. That's very nice. But I do think that if Isak stays, you're going to see one of those seasons where it does get ugly and player just has a shit season, which leads us to the next topic of conversation. Ademola Lookman officially told Atalanta that he wants to part ways with the club in a formal letter today. The Nigerian national team has tweeted that they stand with Lookman. See how dramatic football is these days? It's so unnecessary. Like, what the fuck, guys? What for? Why does it have to be like this?
People are too invested, right? Like, football is people's lives, and
it's like a hunger strike, bro. It's horrible. A whole big protest. So he basically changed his social media. See if I can link it actually right here. Yes, I can. Took his profile photo off. The subscribers know this, but I don't think you do, so I'm showing you anyway. It's funny as. There you go. That's his Twitter now. How petty is that?
Wow.
Like, nothing in an Atalanta jersey, nothing at all. There he is for the first time. There you go. And on his Instagram, nothing, bro. Just looks like a Nigerian rapper now, to be honest. It's crazy. I want him now, because when you invest so much time and effort into a transfer, you have to get it done. You have to just get it over the line. And 45 mil for Lookman is still really, really good business in this climate. Really good business. So what's your opinion on him? You've probably only got your memories from him at Everton and Leicester City, right?
I do remember Lookman when he played against Liverpool. He was at Atalanta and he did run rings around us. I was very impressed with what he did against us. I think it will be a good buy. 45 mil. Even if you have to spend that extra 5 or 7 or 8 mil on him, you got to go for it. Is there any particular player that Lookman is replacing in your attacking option, or is this just a simple addition to Inter's current squad?
This is more of just an addition. Because we are looking to switch it up a bit from a two-man attack this season. And we also just need a little bit more depth in case Lautaro or Thuram come out, because our depth last season was awful. Mehdi Taremi was just this absolute useless. Oh, man. He only had one really good game. It was against Barcelona in the second leg, when he pressed Lamine Yamal better in extra time than anybody else did. Marco Arnautovic was awful. Joaquin Correa is just our barbecue merchant. So we've barely had a bench of an attack for a long time. We were heavily relying on Lautaro, Thuram, set pieces at the end of last season as well. So it was a big worry. So a lot of fans do think this is an apology piece parting / gift for the way we went out last season, bombing in all competitions. But it's also been a signing that's been coming for a while, just someone extra of quality. We've been coasting on, medium-sized Band-Aids that can patch up a wall for a certain amount of time, but then it's just ugly. And it's been ugly for a while now, so we need someone like Lookman. And if we can nail him down, well, we've got the rest of the market to just find a really good centre-back, and we can close it. We can pretty much close it. We're not too far away from getting done, man. That's the status at the moment. So I'm just going to have a quick look through Twitter to see if there's any updates, but at the moment, probably not. That's not the sort of update you want to see anymore. In case of not getting Lookman, Inter Milan goes for Greenwood. That's in French. I don't even read French, and I know what that fucking says. But we're not doing that. Marotta, didn't expect this from Percassi. I already read this already. See, the thing is, John, Atalanta's got a track record of behaving like this, and rightfully so. They build up these players. And then they systematically work so well that the prices are so inflated, but then they make clubs wait and burn. Like the way they held Koopmeiners from Juve last season was so funny to me, but now it's not funny because it's happening to me. And like they kept him until like the last week and a half of the market just so they could get top dollar, 75 mil. But by the time he got to Juve, there's like 9 days before the season starts, bro. 2 weeks. So like, it's a mess. It's a mess. And so, yeah, we need to get Lookman now because they're just behaving like typical Atalanta again.
One thing I can say, though, one thing we can offer is, look, if Lookman doesn't go through, you can take Federico Chiesa if you want. He's currently he didn't make the preseason tour over in Asia, so we don't know what's happening with him. There are Italian clubs monitoring, and I think Atalanta is one of them. So that also
great they are, bro. That's the replacement for Lookman right there. And you know why? Because Atalanta's manager this season is everybody's favorite deep-lying Ivan Juric, who I think came to Southampton and just confirmed that they were going to get relegated last season. He had a really good stint at Torino. He was a good fit for the city of Torino, but then he went to Roma for a bit, tanked there. Atalanta's not going to be as good under Juric as they were under Gasperini. They'll play a very different brand of football, one that Federico Chiesa actually suits. So I'm just doing a little search on the side, and it does look like Federico Chiesa to Atalanta has little bits and bobs of momentum, boys. Little bits and bobs. And I have a feeling, no, I don't have a feeling. We all know it's connected to the Lookman deal, obviously. How much are you guys looking to get for him?
Well, I think we did spend about 12 and a half, roughly, ballpark figure. But I think at the moment, the reported rate is around about that 15. I don't think there's going to be too much profit, but I know that the club is probably going to want to get at least some profit out of him as well. So
How much did you pay for him?
I think it's 12 and a half, or somewhere between 12 to 15.
How many years is the contract worth?
They signed him on a long contract, so it was, I believe, it was 4 years. So he's still got a few years left on him. So, and I think that's probably why Liverpool want to try to get as much out of it, because they'll definitely have to pay out. And his wages are also they're not cheap as well. So he's definitely holding up a little bit of wages on the books as well, which I don't know whether a lot of Italian clubs could actually afford as well, because
if you got it for 12 and a half, it's been 1 year on the contract. Technically, if you made anything over like 9.5, 10 million, it would break even on the books there when you minus his first year. So if you can get 15, you'd literally be making like 5 million really on his amortized value, which is very, very good, to be honest, on a player that did F all. He won the league. Kudos to him. He won the league. He's going to come back to Italy with a Premier League. How many people get to do that? Up everyone's ass at Juve, where he left.
Not only that, he won the Premier League. He played 6 Premier League games, and he got a Premier League medal. Steven Gerrard, 4, 5, 6, 700 Premier League games, and he did not get a Premier League medal. So big ups to Federico Chiesa, doing God's work right there with the Premier League medal there. But life isn't fair, really, at the end of the day.
No, life is not fair. Yes, Barisk. Wallah, Yakares flop, cuz wallah. He'll be a flop. No, he'll be all right. But he'll take time. But you know the Arsenal fans, bro, they'll come for him straight away. It's going to be beautiful when they do. When Klopp announced he was leaving, our season went tits up, but Atalanta did play well. Yeah, Atalanta in Europe, they've been very well. Lookman definitely earned a lot of his value with his European performances. We won't know too much more about Lookman until tomorrow morning. There is no way it's over. We know that Inter's going to put in another bid. The bid's going to be about, I reckon, 45 with maybe 3 million in bonuses, achievable bonuses. Bonuses being, win the league, score as many goals, have as many appearances. But with very little updates at the moment, guys, there's very little that we can do and very little that we can say. While you're here, my bro, any other questions for Inter regarding the season, regarding transfers, regarding anything at all?
Maybe just general questions, like how have you found Inter's transfer window over the last, say, few months already? Like, would you say that it's been really, really positive? Is there anything that you could have done any better, or any particular players that you may have missed out? How's the transfer window so far for all the Inter fans?
Purely in limbo, man, because we're having this conversation probably like the worst time to talk about the market. We're smack bang right in the middle, really, if you count that it's been going from the 1st of July. But so far, so good. I mean, if we could land Leone and Lookman, the market would virtually become a 10 out of 10. Leone is like the next hot property in Italy in terms of a centre-back. 18 years old, plays for Parma. Very good. But as per usual, some of the price tags that get thrown on these players is just ridiculous, man. He's had one good season at Parma as an 18-year-old, a decent season at Sampdoria before that, and they're whacking $30 million, $35 million price tags on him. 18-year-old centre-back, Parma, one season, 18 years old, centre-back, $35 million. So you need to be prepared to drop that. And then what do? Put him on the bench. Big Italian clubs don't have a great track record of playing young players at all. We like old players. We like experienced players. I could see Leone coming in for 30 million and getting benched for fucking Acerbi for the first 6 months of the year, bro. And all of us fans would be like, what is going on, bro? I don't believe it. However, the one thing that makes us believe that might be changing is we don't have an Italian manager. We've got Christian Chivu, who is a youth manager who loves managing young players. And we've just erected our under-23s side, which is going to be really, really good. We have an under-23 side now competing in Serie A in 3rd division, which is awesome. That means there's a straight stream of Inter-Academy players that are playing professional now in Italy under Serie A. And, a few good games in Serie A. They might earn a transfer somewhere. They're going to have a few games in the first team. And that's a nice stream of some good money that can get pumped out of the club. Juve have been doing it for a few years now. They build up these players, whack them off for 15 mil, whack them off for 10 mil. Some of them they sell prematurely and cheaply, but it's an extra stream of cash that comes through your club when you've got an under 23s in Italy. To get Leone would be awesome. To get Lookman would just be emphatical, though. But if you miss out on Lookman, you need to really think of what the alternatives are. And when I think of the two alternatives to him, you can't go and get Chiesa as an alternative. That's not going to suffice, nor would anything worse like a Domenico Berardi. Have to be looking at someone like an Adeyemi to satisfy the fan base. And I don't think we're ready to enter a whole fresh wave of negotiations. Negotiations can get exhausting. Negotiations can take weeks. Maybe it's in our best interest to really cave a little bit more to Krapalanta in this situation. But everyone's pissed off with Krapalanta at the moment because they do this all the time. They think they're a big club. They're not a big club. They're not a small club, but they're not a big club, bro.
What I can say, though, in the worst case scenario, and you do have to go to Federico Chiesa, we can throw in his player chant as well. If the player chant does actually say "fuck Juve" as well in the chant, so we can throw that on top as a bonus. But you're right, you don't want to be in that position at all. So
not to rely on him, but I'd take both. I'd take Lookman and then I'd take Chiesa as an overall attacking sub for all of them, just because the idea of him winning a Scudetto with us and not Juve after playing at Juve would just be crispy. It would be very crispy. It would be like a layer of banter for another few years, which would be lovely. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I reckon. There's not much else to say. I haven't looked up Inter's news today, actually, so I'll just type it in quickly. I doubt there's anything worth mentioning. Otherwise, it would have come in some sort of chat or some sort of person would have freaked out and threatened to kill themselves in some sort of chat that I was in because the news was that bad. Anything else? No news on De Winter yet, guys. We're going to have to wait for the defensive situation. I've got a video on the defenders ready to come out, but it's just hard to release it with this Lookman thing hanging in the balance. We got to a few new people in the chat, like Lee. I think there was a couple of people that came over from your channel, John, actually, which was very nice. SSB as well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I wonder if Sneeze is still watching. Are you watching, Sneeze? Fucking bored, bro. So bored. Probably walking around phone in one hand. I know exactly what he's doing, actually. Exactly what he's doing for sure.
Look at that Sneeze.
100%. Nah. Other than Ademola Lookman actually formally going to Atalanta and saying that he wants out, there's no new updates. So hopefully we come back with something tomorrow. Marotta did say he wanted this sorted by July 31st. It's August 4th. Yeah, nice one. Very, very good. Very good. But I'm sure we'll at least soon have some news done. John, thanks for coming on, bro. Long overdue. Much appreciated. For anybody watching, Interworldwide subscribers, after this video goes up, do me a solid. Click the link in the description or the highlighted title. So go over to John's channel and subscribe. Thanks for coming, bro. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you. Had an absolute awesome time. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and really, really appreciate it. Speak soon.
All right. Cheers to the channel members as well. Just quickly, as always, it's Figo. Thanks for coming through, bro. Gabe, Massimo. Yeah, thanks for coming through, boys. Appreciate it. And good to see you again, Z. I'll speak to you guys soon. Ciao.